Welcome to the Season 7 premiere of Hitting the Field. Thank you for joining us. I am Mark Tavilla, your new co-host filling in for Jessica Herman today. Sitting alongside me to discuss our UCF Knights over the weekend is Anthony Abruzzo. Ant, how you doing today, my man?
How are you, man?
Doing very good.
Thanks for having me.
Very good. Awesome, guys. Well, alrighty then, let's go ahead and dive straight in. We'll start off with the UCF football team, who turned 2-0 this past weekend after a 38-0 shutout over South Carolina State.
Coming up on UCF Nightly News, a new way to explore planets without running out of fuel. Find out what role wine plays in the exploration of planets.
And a new cell tower to be added to UCF's main campus. We'll explain how it will benefit students, first responders, and more.
Plus, human organs grown on a chip. We'll tell you about an alternative to animal testing.
In sports, another doubleheader for UCF basketball will get you ready for this weekend's big games.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Shania Richburg.
And I'm Zachary Winicky. Today is Friday, January 18th, 2019.
One UCF planetary scientist found a way to potentially explore planets without having to send the space equipment back to Earth. Nightly News reporter Brianna Sorensen has more on how the new invention can possibly change space exploration forever.
UCF planetary research scientist Dr. Phil Metzger has come up with a new way to explore planets.
In theory, if nothing breaks, this is a spacecraft that could go forever.
Metzger partnered up with Honeybee Robotics to look for a way to explore planets without running out of fuel. They came up with the world is not enough, also called wine.
And we were looking for the simplest possible way to use water's rocket fuel, and that is simply use it as steam.
Metzger believes that many companies can potentially use this steam-powered planet hopper, such as asteroid mining companies and NASA.
I think NASA would want to use this spacecraft on Europa, one of the moons of Jupiter.
UCF partnered up with founder of the Exolith Lab, Kevin Cannon, to play a vital role in the WINE project. Cannon helped make some of the artificial asteroid material right here in the Exolith Lab a few miles away from UCF.
What we did was we provided the material, the substrate that simulates an asteroid or a comet material.
Cannon says that the next steps are to raise money to build a full prototype to market to companies. As one of Metzger's partners, Cannon has no doubt in his capabilities.
I think Phil is really great at kind of turning science fiction into reality.
Reporting in Winter Park, Brianna Sorensen, UCF Nightly News.
Metzger hopes to raise enough funds for the new prototype by next year.
UCF announced a plan to add a new cell tower to its main campus. Nightly News reporter Shania Richburg explains how this tower will benefit service for the UCF community.
During football games, junior Ashley McGregor says she experiences poor cell phone reception. McGregor says the reception is often so bad that she can't use her phone to find her friends during the games.
I think having that cell tower out there, it'd be nice to even send text, because text won't send through. Calling, it doesn't, calls don't go through either.
But a new cell tower will overlap the current community garden near Garage C. The tower will help increase cellular reception and capacity in that area. Assistant Director for Strategic Communications Mark Schlube says they considered several factors when choosing the tower location.
So we look for vacant land, and we also look for the area, in this case, that would benefit from a stronger cell coverage. And those two factors lined up to put it where it's going to be now.
The new tower will also benefit emergency responders, as their public safety antennas will move from this tower to the new tower to improve and extend reception. UCF IT Telecommunications will design, own, and maintain the 190-foot tower. Cellular carriers like Sprint, AT&T, and Verizon will pay rent to put their antennas on the tower. In Orange County, Shania Richburg, UCF Nightly News.
The tower is expected to cost $1.2 million. UCF IT is currently in the bidding process.
UCF is making big strides in the field of human-on-a-chip technology. Nightly News reporter Abisola Adeyemo has more on how the chips can potentially replace animal testing.
After meeting a UCF professor with a brain implant to help with Parkinson's disease, data analyst Max Jackson became inspired by biotechnology. He now works with human-on-a-chip technology at UCF's nanoscience department.
We're able to grow organs on chips and use these as models, use these to test drugs to see what they do. But B, we're also able to plug organs into each other. And so we're actually able to mimic the entire ecosystem of the inside of a human body.
The human-on-a-chip technology works to replace animal testing in industries such as cosmetics. Nanoscience professor James Hickman says that the biggest benefit is testing one organ system at a time.
What we can do with our system is we can take out the liver. We can take out one of the other organs, which if you did it with an animal, that would be problematic, right?
This chip right here contains human cells that can be used to mimic different organ systems like the brain, liver, and muscles. Jackson says human-on-a-chip will help make medicine more personalized. Doctors could use your own cells to test how different medications would react in your body. Jackson says there are countless opportunities in this field. He says that knowing you can make an impact is the most rewarding part. In Orange County, Abisola Adeyemo, UCF Nightly News.
The researchers work around the clock to improve the technology.
There's now new information about the investigation involving the misuse of $38 million at UCF. An Atlanta-based law firm released a report late last night outlining that a number of other university officials, aside from President Dale Whitaker, knew money would be improperly sourced to fund the building of the new Trevor Colburn Hall. The Board of Trustees will meet this afternoon at 3 to discuss this new report. We'll bring you more information about the report and the board as we get it.
In more serious news, the Pentagon identified 3 of the 4 U.S. service members killed in Syria by an ISIS suicide bomber earlier this week. The 3 Americans include Army Chief Warrant Officer 2 Jonathan R. Farmer, Navy Chief Cryptologic Technician Shannon M. Kent, and DoD civilian Scott A. Wirtz. This attack came just less than a month after President Trump declared a victory over Islamic State militants in Syria.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made a stop in Winter Park yesterday to talk about his plans, mainly for medical marijuana. Attorney John Morgan stood by his side in support of the cause, in addition to Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez. The governor says the law has not gone into effect properly and he plans to fix it. He paid particular attention to those with ALS, terminal cancer, and multiple sclerosis for those who could mainly benefit from medical marijuana. DeSantis also noted that he is not an advocate of recreational marijuana use.
This is something that I was asked repeatedly in the campaign because I think a lot of Floridians felt, hey, we voted for this, but it's not really been implemented the way we envisioned it. And I said, I didn't get into specifics because I knew there was a lot of moving parts. So I said, we are going to implement what the people wanted.
Well, the deadline for Florida legislator on medical marijuana dispensaries is in March.
So, Zach, I hear it's some perfect sweater weather outside right now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice on the way in the studio this morning. Aaron, what are the temps looking like outside?
Thanks, Shania and Zach. The temperature outside is looking pretty nice. Let me tell you about your current conditions. So right now the temperature is at 63 degrees. It's pretty cool, nice and calm outside. You'll feel a little bit comfortable. The humidity is at 33, so you won't feel any sticky or anything like that. The winds are coming from the northwest at 3 miles per hour, and there's 0 chance of rain. So the weather outside is pretty nice for you to go out and relax, maybe do a picnic even. I'll see you in a few minutes. Back to you, Shania and Zach.
Find out how one particular video game inspired the design of a new line of prosthetics.
Plus, the UCF prosthetics company that interns are flocking to. Limitless Solutions at UCF is currently in the trial stages of testing out a new line of prosthetics. The artificial limbs come from a recent partnership with Riot Games. Riot Games is a video game company that makes the game League of Legends. Designs for prosthetics are based on this game. Limitless production director says part of the reason they are excited about the partnership is because the game has so many diverse characters the kids receiving limbs can relate to.
We think all of our kids are heroes already, but it's always cool to be able to have some of that heroism reflected in the characters that they choose. I think it's a really cool thing for Limitless to be able to give them the option to wear those hero arms.
Limitless says that the prosthetics will be given to the kids sometime in April.
Limitless Solutions kicked off its first ever Limitless Scholars Program this semester. Nick Santiago tells us more on the record number of students joining the organization.
Limitless Solutions, the company that makes bionic arms for children missing limbs, brought in its largest number of interns in program history this semester. 19 new scholars have now been added to the team, bringing the total to 30 undergraduate students.
This semester, the group is really from all different majors around campus. So we have a group from engineering, we have ad and PR, communications, game design, fine arts. It's a really entire body of UCF represented here.
The new members of the Scholar Program get 15 hours of work experience every week. A lot of work is hands-on. Interns have the opportunity to get involved with the kids they are making devices for. For some, this is a dream come true.
I think their message is unique. I don't think you see a lot of people doing what they're doing, and their emphasis on empowerment and confidence in the kids that they work with is something that's extremely special, and I wanted to be involved with it.
Monero says he wants to make sure every intern gets to work and learn something. Some interns started as volunteers for years before getting the internship, hearing about it through friends, then working their way up, learning different aspects of the designs.
A couple of us went to the meeting to see what it was about, and then we just started helping out, sanding stuff, volunteering. We just kept coming back, and eventually it turned into an internship, and it was just a really great experience.
In Orlando, Nick Santiago, UCF Nightly News.
Limitless Solutions is also working on projects like immersive video games, a hands-free wheelchair, and a comic book series.
The UCF Recreation and Wellness Center is now offering a new high-intensity workout class to students. UCF Knightly News reporter Carolina Tessuto tells us more about the workout that's been a year in the making.
After 1 year of planning, the RWC is launching F45, a new group exercise class. F45 is a high-intensity interval training workout aimed to provide a total body workout. The F stands for functional, and the 45 stands for the duration of the class, 45 minutes. Since its inception, F45 classes are filling up remarkably fast, some even filling up in less than 15 minutes.
Something that we always try to do at the rec center is, be innovative, have the next best thing. And so I think the fact that it's new, it creates a community. I think that's the reason why that it's popular right now.
During the class, participants go through several stations, each with a different dedicated workout. There are screens on the wall that shows examples of the workout at each station and the allotted active and rest time.
F45 is hosted here in the RWC's multi-purpose room. The room's layout is changed every single day to accommodate F45's varying workouts.
F45 offers cardio workouts on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, weights on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on the weekends participants can expect a hybrid workout. Gary Kane, the RWC Associate Director of Programs, hopes that F45 will bring more male participation into their group exercise programs.
Yoga classes, if you've been to that, there's more girls at yoga than guys. So maybe this class could be the alternative for guys at UCF.
In Orlando, Carolina Tessuto with UCF Nightly News.
The full schedule for F45 classes can be found on the RWC website under Group Exercise.
Governor Ron DeSantis caused some controversy last week when he issued a new executive order in Tallahassee. We have Nightly News reporter Rachel DeChico with more on why some UCF students are worried about it.
On a
workplace anti-discrimination law that protects against age, race, and sex, but not gender identity or sexual orientation. This comes as a blow to some college students who are members of the LGBTQ community. The Williams Institute at the UCLA School of Law finds 1 in 4 LGBTQ workers has experienced discrimination in the last 5 years.
I have a lot of experience getting turned down for jobs. They take one look at me and they're like, oh, that's a queer person, we're not gonna hire them.
Rhonda Wallace of Organized Florida says provisions for orientation and gender identity should be a necessity, especially for young people trying to get jobs.
We should all have a say on how we live our lives and how we present our bodies and what we do.
However, some students say they believe that the executive order is the first step the governor is taking to make great change. So far, the governor has not said whether or not he will make changes to add LGBTQ protections to that bill. Reporting in Orlando, Rachel DeChico, UCF Nightly News.
When asked about the order yesterday in Tallahassee, DeSantis said his office hires employees based on merit. Clear skies and cool breezes this past week. Stay tuned for the weather forecast heading into the MLK weekend.
Plus, find out more about the rise in gas prices.
Central Florida drivers are witnessing the rise of gas prices. There hasn't been an increase in nearly 3 months. In the past 91 days, gas prices dropped about 70 cents, letting drivers feel some relief in their wallets. But now the American Automobile Association, or AAA, says that we can expect prices at the pump to go up. The new year is breathing life into the oil market, which raises the price per gallon that drivers are seeing. Orlando is still fortunate enough to see some of the least expensive prices in the state, while drivers in Panama City are paying upwards of $2.45 per gallon, and people in Miami are shelling around $2.31.
And now to Aaron with our 5-day forecast. Aaron, what can we expect in this upcoming week?
Thanks, Shania and Zach. We're going to expect some interesting weather over the weekend, but for right now, let's take a look at the weather across the state of Florida. So at Tallahassee, we have 68 degrees, which is a little chilly. We have 70 in Jacksonville. In Tampa, it's 74. Orlando, 75. And Miami, 75 as well. So most of the state of Florida is looking a little pleasant. And now for our 5-day forecast. So it's going to be some like I said, some interesting weather going on. We're going to have a spike in temperatures and then a drop in temperatures and also some rain this week. So on Saturday, you're going to have some thunderstorms. The high will be 78 with a low at 60, but the chance of rain is 70%. And then on Sunday, you'll have scattered showers with a high of 63 and a low of 39. So that's the dip right there. It's going to start getting really cold on Sunday. The precipitation is going to be at 30%. And moving into Monday or your Martin Luther King Day, it's going to be a lot chillier than the rest of the days for the next 5 days. You're going to have a high of 58, a low of 47. So I would have a jacket. If you're me, I'm going to kind of stay inside on my Martin Luther King Day and enjoy my inside weather. It's going to be no chance of rain. On Tuesday, it's going to be sunny, so the temperature is going to go up. We're going to have a high of 70, a low of 58, with 20% chance of rain. And on Wednesday, it's going to be partly cloudy. The sun's still going to peak here and there. You're going to have a high of 76, a low of 60 degrees, and then it's going to be a 30% chance of weather. So on the weekend, I'm going to enjoy some time inside, maybe do some homework, catch up on some Netflix that I haven't done or seen this week. And then I'm going to probably play with my cat. Back to you at the desk, Shania and Zach.
Coming up in sports, one UCF football player cut off his iconic locks for a good cause.
Plus, we'll find out the latest news on Knights basketball.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nick Santiago, and here's your UCF Sports Update. One UCF alumni is still pursuing the Super Bowl this season. Class of 2017 wide receiver Traquan Smith will play in Sunday's NFC Championship. Smith has been on and off in his rookie year, catching 28 passes for 427 yards and 5 touchdowns. Last week against the Eagles, Smith made key blocks and had a reception for 15 yards. Smith's Saints play the Los Angeles Rams in New Orleans at 3:05 p.m. this Sunday. UCF punter Mac Loudermilk shaved his famous beard and cut his line-like mane this week after his college career came to an end. Loudermilk decided to trim his hair and facial hair, which he grew for 2.5 years, to donate to Locks of Love. Locks of Love accepts donations of hair and money to create wigs for people with medical conditions. Loudermilk has raised over $4,500 on a GoFundMe account in addition to his hair donation. The men's basketball team will kick off another doubleheader for UCF basketball this weekend. UCF is coming off its first conference loss of the season to Wichita State on Wednesday. The Knights will look to bounce back after their normally stellar defense allowed the Shockers to shoot 52% from the field. They now sit a half game out of first place in the conference standings. B.J. Taylor and Aubrey Dawkins, both star offensive players, came into the game ranked top 10 in scoring in the conference. Tulsa, led by Daquan Jeffries, is 2-3 in conference and is coming off a win against UConn on Thursday. Tip-off is set for 12 noon right here. UCF takes on Southern Methodist on Saturday at 2 p.m. The Knights go into the doubleheader with a 5-game win streak. UCF looks to keep a clean record in conference play. SMU comes into Saturday's play winless away from home. That stat may favor the Knights, but the size of the Mustangs should challenge the Knights in the paint. Coach Abe plans to switch her strategy going into Saturday.
To get offensive rebounds for us is going to be pretty hard because they're really big in the paint. And KK's probably not going to be able to get to the paint a lot, so she's going to have to do a lot of pull-up jumpers and, you know, different things like that. So I haven't watched a lot of film, but I do know they're going to play zone.
The Knights are hopeful going into Saturday's game, but are taking it one game at a time. And that's all we have for sports. I'm Nick Santiago for UCF Nightly News. Now back to the desk with Shania and Zach.
Thank you, Nick. Zach, so what are your plans this weekend?
You know, I'm going to go volunteer at an animal sanctuary, much like weather over there at Aaron. I am a huge fan of cats, so I'm going to go play with some cats, some dogs, sheep, birds. What do you got going on?
I'm actually going to be going to the Martin Luther King Parade. I heard that it's going to be so much fun. There's going to be a lot of bands, but I'm looking forward to it. But that's all the time we have for right now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on our Twitter at UCF Nightly News.
And if you've got a story idea you'd like us to see, send it our way. You can reach us at ucfnightlynews@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Like other anime on like Toonami and stuff.